السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا وسهلا بحضراتكم في فيديو جديد. هنتكلم النهاردة على manipulating and solving equations. طبعا solving equations تعتبر basic skills أي طالب المفروض يكون بيقدر يشتغل معاها. وإحنا محظوظين لأن في الديجيتال اس اي تي في كتير جدا من الايكويشنز، خاصة الكومبليكيتد ايكويشنز تقدر تحلها بسهولة على ديسموس، لأن ديسموس هيكون مسموح به أو هيكون اوريدي موجود في البلاتفورم اللي بتعمل عليها الامتحان. خلينا نبدأ بشوية بيزك اكزامبلز كده، يعني very easy examples، وهنطلع ايه one by one. لو احنا قلنا ان احنا عندنا we have this simple equation. طبعا solving equations means to find the value of the variable. فمثلا انا بقول لك x plus 1 equal to 3. We need to solve this equation. طبعا very simple. We will shift 1 to the other side. So if you shift 1 to the other side, it will be negative 1. So x here equals how much? X equal 3 minus 1. So x equals 2. وبكده قدرنا نحصل على value of x. طيب خلينا ناخد another example. What if we have 2x minus 1, for example, equal to 3? And we need to get the value of x. So to get the value of x here, we need to cancel this 2 and we need to cancel negative 1. Like how to cancel negative 1? Shift it to the other side. So it will be 2x. Shift negative 1 to the other side. So it will be 3 plus 1. 2x equal 4. طيب now we have 2x. How can we get x? Divide طبعا here by 2 and here by 2. So the value of x is going to be 2. طيب والله ده كويس جدا. هناخد another example. What if we have x over 2 plus 1 equal to 3. طيب في الاكزامبل ده هنكتشف ان احنا عندنا هنا two problems we need to cancel them. We need to cancel 1 and we need to cancel 2. طيب خليني اقول لك whenever you have a fraction first simplify this fraction. or لو في عندك في اي equation فيها fraction اتخلص من الدينومينيتور بتاع الفراكشن ده. طيب الدينومينيتور ده هنا كام؟ الدينومينيتور هنا 2. So I will multiply the whole equation first by 2. So if you multiply here by 2 and here by 2 and here by 2, this 2 cancels this 2. So what is the leftover? The leftover is x. Plus 1 times 2 is 2 and 3 times 2 is 6. خلاص فبقت very simple equation. X equal 6 minus 2. X equal 4. والستيب دي مهمة جدا. If you have a fraction, multiply the whole equation by the denominator of this fraction. خلينا ناخد example تاني. What if we have x squared negative 1 equals 3. طيب تاني I need to isolate x. I need to get the value of x. طيب ايه البروبلمز اللي عندنا هنا عشان نجيب الاكس؟ We have a square and we have negative 1. طبعا احنا اتعلمنا ازاي نكنسل negative 1. Shift it to the other side. So it will be x square equal. When we shift to the other side, we change the sign. 3 plus 1. So x square equal 4. طيب I need to cancel the square. What would cancel the square? The square root. فخليك دايما عارف. If you have a square, it would be cancelled by the square root. طب لو عندك square root, what would cancel the square root? The square. هما الاثنين they cancel each other. So here, I will take the square root for both sides. So what is the square root of the square of x squared? The square root of x squared, the square will be cancelled and we will get x. Hold on for a second. What is the square root of 4? Is it 2? Is it only 2? Bravo. So here it's going to be plus or minus 2. So when we have a square root, we will take plus or minus, because as you know, 2 times 2 is 4 and also negative 2 times negative 2 is 4. So the answer here is going to be plus or minus 2. All right, this is very good. What if we have another example? If we have, the example is the square root of x minus 1 equal to 3. What is the value of x? طيب تعال نشوف هنا. To get the value of x, you need to cancel negative 1 and you need to cancel the square root. Let's cancel first negative 1. How to cancel negative 1? Shift it to the other side. Bravo. So it will be a square root of x equal 3 plus 1. The square root of x equal to 4. Now we need to cancel the square. زي ما قلنا في الإكزامبل اللي قبله، لو عندك square it would be cancelled by the square root. طيب if you have a square root, how can you cancel it? You will cancel the square root by the square. So I'm going to square both sides. Square here and square here. The square cancels the square root, so you will get x, and 4 square as 16. All right. خلاص. طيب let's see another example. What if we have let's say for example x over 2 plus 1 over 3 equal x over 4. طبعا لو هتبص على الاكزامبل ده والاكزامبل اللي كنا حليناه هنا، انا قلت لك if you have a fraction first cancel the denominator. So what is the difference between this example and this example? In this example, we had only one denominator, which is 2, so I multiplied the whole equation by 2. But here, how many denominators do we have? We have 3 fractions with 3 denominators. So the first step, I need to cancel 2, 3, and 4. So what would be the number that can cancel 2, 3, and 4? What is the least common multiple of 2, 3, and 4? Guys, if you don't know, just multiply all of them by itself. So if you multiply 2 times 3 times 4, it will be 6 times 4, which is 24. So you can multiply the whole equation by 24. But do we have a number less than 24 divisible by 2, 3, and 4? Bravo! We can multiply here easier by how much? By 12. So let's multiply the whole equation by 12. If you multiply here by 12, here by 12, and here by 12. So 12 divided by 2, because guys, this is over 1, so we are going to divide this by this. 12 divided by 2 is 6x. And 12 divided by 3 is 4. And 12 divided by 4 is 3x. Can you see, guys? By applying this step, you converted this messy equation, this complicated equation with 3 fractions, into very simple one. So how can we get this one? We will get x's on one side. Here we have 6x. So I will shift 3x to this side, and I will shift 4 to this side. When we shift, we change the signs. So 6x negative 3x, and if you shift 4, it will be negative 4. 6 negative 3 is 3x equal negative 4. Divide here by 3 and divide here by 3. Cancel, cancel. So the value of x is negative 4 over 3. طيب اللي انا عملته هنا كان just introduction to the lesson how to solve simple equations. We started by very simple equation, and here we had more complicated one. خلينا نشوف example number 1. In the example number 1, okay, before example number 1, here we have some exercises. Let's do it together as well. The exercise number 1 here, it's mentioned that we need to isolate the variable in bold. Here, for example, we have a equals by r squared. So we need to get the value of r. So to get the value of r, you need to cancel pi, and you need to cancel the square. Let's cancel pi first, since pi is multiplied. So I will divide here both sides. So I will divide here both sides by pi. So pi canceled pi. So you get r squared equals how much? R squared equals a over pi. But we need to get r. So how to cancel the square? As we mentioned, we will take the square root for both sides. So take the square root for both sides. The square root here is r equals how much? Equal the square root of a over pi. Another example, we need also here to isolate r. This is very simple. To isolate r, we just need to cancel 2 and pi. Since both of them are multiplied, we will divide, bravo, we will divide both sides by how much? By 2 pi, and divide here by 2 pi. Cancel, cancel this, cancel this. So you will get r equal c over 2 pi. Another example, here we have a equals half bh. As I mentioned, here we can cross multiply for sure, but when we have a fraction, I prefer to cancel this fraction by multiply all terms by the denominator. So I will multiply here by 2, and I will multiply here by 2. This cancels this. So you got in this side b times h, and here we have 2a. What do we need to get? We need to get b, so divide both sides by h. So this cancels this. So what is the value of b? B is 2a over h. Good. Another example. Here, we need to get the value of h. So how to get the value of h? We will divide both sides. We need to cancel pi and r squared. So I will divide here both sides by pi r squared, and here pi r squared. This cancels this. So the value of h is going to be v over pi r squared. What about this example? V equal pi r squared times h. How can we get r? So to get r, you need to cancel pi, you need to cancel h, and you need to cancel the square. Can we first cancel pi and h together? Bravo. Yes, we can cancel this. Why divide both sides by how much? Pi times h. And here pi times h. This cancels this cancels this. So you will get r squared equal v over pi times h. How to cancel the square? Again and again. To cancel the square, take the square root here and the square root here. So the square root cancels the square. So r equal the square root of v over pi h. Good, good. Another example, we need to get the value of a. So guys, as you know, if you have a fraction equal another fraction, we can cross multiply. So cross multiply, if you multiply this time this, it will be equal to this time this. So a times d as ad equal b times c, which is bc. We need to get the value of a. So divide here by d and here by d, cancel, cancel. So the value of a equal bc over d. Let's see this example. Good. We need here to get the value of h. To get the value of h, you need to cancel first 2 pi r squared. How can we cancel 2 pi r squared? Since 2 pi r squared is added, I will shift it where? To the other side by negative. Then we will cancel 2 pi r together by division. So first shift 2 pi r squared to the other side. So it's going to be s minus 2 pi r squared. And here we have 2 pi r h. We need to get h, so I will divide the whole equation by how much? By 2 pi r. And here I will divide the whole equation by 2 pi r. So this cancel this, cancel this, cancel this, cancel this. So what is the value of h? H equal s minus 2 pi r squared over 2 pi r. Good. The last example in this exercise, we need here to isolate m. As you know, guys, this is equation, and we will study later on details. This is the linear equation. Y equals mx plus b. What if we need to isolate m? If we wanted to isolate m, that means we need to cancel b first, then we will cancel x. How can we cancel b? Shift b to the other side. So it will be y minus b equal mx. How can we get m? Bravo. We will divide here by x, and we divide here as well by x. X cancels x, so m equal y minus b over x. That's it. Okay. This is nice exercise. You will learn how to isolate the variable in different cases. Let's go for the first example. The first example here, it's mentioned, don't forget to combine the like terms. And as we said before, what does it mean by like terms? Who remember? Like terms. We studied this in the previous chapter. Like terms, it has the same variable, and this variable has the same power. And for example, we have x squared and we have x squared, or we have ab or 2ab, and here we have 3ab. So guys, this is the same variable ab, and here ab, and both of them has a power of 1. Okay. Example number 1, we have this expression, or we have this equation, and we need to find the value of A. Let's see how can we find the value of A. The first step, I will expand this brackets. I will multiply here 2 by everything inside. So 2 times A is 2A plus 2B plus 2 times 2C is 4C. 2 times 3 is 6D plus 2. On the other side, we already have 3A plus 2B plus 4C plus 6D. That's it. If you look to this equation, you will find, for example, on this side, we have 2B, and on the other side, we have 2B. So guys, if you have the same value here and the same value here, we can cancel them together. Why? Because if you shift 2B here, it will be 2B negative 2B, which is 0. So simply, we will cancel 2B with 2B. Not only this, we have here 4C. It will be canceled with 4C, and 6D canceled with 6D. So the leftover is 2A plus 2 equal 3A. We need to get the value of A. Here we have 3A. So if you shift 2A here to the side, it will be 3A minus 2A equals 2. So 3A minus 2A is A equals 2. And if you just mirror, the value of A equal 2. That's it. All right. Let's see another example. If A is greater than 0 and B is greater than 0, it means both of them are positive. The equation above is equivalent to which of the following? Pause the video and try to get the answer by yourself. So, as you see here, guys, we have here square root of AB, and on the other side, we have A negative B. First of all, we need to cancel the square root. What would cancel the square root? The thing that cancels the square root is the square. So I'm going to square both sides. So I'm going to square here, and I will square here as well. So the square first will cancel the square root. So this one is going to be AB. And as we mentioned in the previous lesson, if you have binomial square, you will get 3 terms. If you have binomial square, you will get 3 terms. Here, the first square, here the second square, here first times second times 2. So what is the first square? The first square is A squared. The second square is B squared. The first times second times 2 is negative 2AB. Good. And if you look to the choices, you will find AB is isolated. Here we have AB, here we have AB, here we have AB, and here we have AB. So we need to isolate AB. On this side, we have AB, and on this side, we have also here one term included AB. So I'm going to only shift this term to this side. So AB, if you shift negative 2AB, it will be plus 2AB. This is equal to how much? Equal to A squared plus B squared. AB plus 2AB, how much? Rav, 3AB equal A squared plus B squared. So what is the correct answer? The correct answer is D. Let's see the next example. The next example is x plus 3 equals 121. What is, look at this word, what is the sum of the 2 possible values of x? Guys, as I mentioned at the beginning, زي ما قلت في بداية السيشن دي, in كتير من equations we can solve it easily, quickly by what? By Desmos. وانا I don't have any problem with this. يعني لو انت في الاكزام والاسرع بالنسبه لك انك تحل الايكويشن دي بديسموس, go to Desmos and solve it, no problems, okay. بس معلش انا in all equations I will solve it manually عشان تتعلم التكنيك نفسه, فاهم؟ لان maybe you have a question or you have equation with some variables and the coefficients are variables, so you cannot use Desmos in this case. فبرضه it's good to know the technique. However, I know it's much or way faster to solve this by Desmos. Okay, let's solve this one at the beginning manually, and I will teach you also how to do this on Desmos. So if we have this equation, x plus 3 squared equals 121, how can we cancel the square? Bravo. We can cancel the square by the square root for both sides. So if you square, the square root will cancel the square, so you will get how much? You will get on this side x plus 3. What is the square root of 121? Is it 11? No, it's plus or minus 11. Okay, don't forget. It's plus or minus 11. That means we have two equations, x plus 3 equal 11 and x plus 3 equal negative 11. So here x equal, the first value for x is 11 minus 3. X equals how much? X equals 8. And here x equal negative 11, negative 3. So x equals how much? Negative 11, negative 3. So x equal negative 40. In the question, we need to get the sum of this. The sum of these two solutions is 8 plus negative 14, which is negative 6. Good. How to solve this question by Desmos? To solve this question by Desmos, guys, I will make the equation equal first step. Make the equation equal to 0. يعني here, if I wanted to make this equation equal to 0, I will shift 121 to the other side, isn't it? So it's going to be x plus 3 squared negative 121 equal to 0. Again, what is the second step? The second step is graph it on Desmos. On Desmos. What are the solutions? Solutions are x-intercepts. X-intercepts اللي هي point of intersections with x-axis. Let's try to graph this on Desmos and see what will we get. So guys, this is Desmos application. Here we will write the equation, which is x plus 3 all square negative 121. So if you zoom out, you will get here x. You have here two x-intercepts. The first one is 8 and the second one is negative 14. So guys, the equation, it can be done manually or you can get it way faster using Desmos. Let's see another example. Here we have 4 over 5x equal 10 over 3. So guys, this is very simple example. No need, I think, to use Desmos. You can just cancel 4 over 5 in one step. Who knows? Who knows? How can we cancel 4 over 5 in one step? We will multiply both sides by the reciprocal. So I will multiply here by 5 over 4 and I will multiply here by 5 over 4. So guys, if you have 4 over 5 and you wanted to cancel this in one step, just multiply by the reciprocal. Flip over the fraction and multiply it by both sides. So what will be happening here? 5 cancelled 5 and 4 cancelled 4. So the value of x equal 50 over 12. Example number 5, 5 over x minus 2 negative 3 over x plus 2 equal 0. What is the value of x? So as we said, this example can be done way faster using Desmos, and I will show you how to do it using Desmos, and also it can be done manually. And actually I prefer all the students to know how to do it either manually and by using Desmos. So let me solve this first manually. I will solve this first manually by shift this one to the other side. So here we will get 5 over x minus 2. If you shift this to the other side, it will be equal how much? 3 over x plus 2. Then we can cross multiply. So guys, if you cross multiply, you will get here 5 times x plus 2 equal 3 times x minus 2. Multiply, expand this, 5 times x is 5x. 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times minus 2 is minus 6. Get x's together. So 5x, if you shift the 3x here, so it will be how much? If you shift it, it will be negative 3x. And on the other side, we already have negative 6. So if you shift 10, it will be negative 10. 5 minus 3 is 2x. Negative 6, negative 10 is negative 16. Divide here by 2 and here by 2. The value of x is negative 8. And as I said, this question also can be done using Desmos. So let's go for Desmos and find x-intercept. So I will take this expression and I write it on Desmos. 5 over x minus 2 minus 3 over x plus 2. So guys, we got this graph and we need to get x-intercept. So here you will find one x-intercept equals how much? Equal negative 8. Let's see example number 6. In example number 6, b equals a over 3a plus c. Which of the following expresses a in terms of b and c? So guys, pause the video and try to get it by yourself. So guys, as you see here, we have b. We can make this b a fraction by write it as b over 1. Then we can cross multiply. So if you cross multiply, a times 1 is a. And equals b times 3a plus c. And in this question, we need to get or express the value of a. We need to isolate the value of a. So let's expand. A equals, if you expand, b times 3a is 3ab, and b times c is bc. If we wanted to isolate a, so any terms include a, we will get it on one side. So here we have a, and here we have 3ab. So I'm going to shift 3ab to this side. So it's going to be a negative 3ab equals bc. To isolate a from this term and from this term, I'm going to take a as a common factor. A divided by a is 1. Negative 3ab divided by a is 3b equals bc. Now a is multiplied by this bracket, so to cancel it we will divide both sides by how much? By 1 minus 3b, and divide here by 1 minus 3b. This cancels this, and the final answer is going to be a equals bc over 1 minus 3b. So what is the answer? The answer is a. Example number 7. What is one possible real value of x for which the equation above is true? As I said, this question can be done by Desmos, and we can do it manually as well. So let's solve first it manually, and we will double check using Desmos application. In the exam, I think here using Desmos, it's going to be much way faster. So x to the power 4 plus 3x to the power 3. Look at this, guys. And do we have here a common factor between the first term and the second term? X4 and 3x cubed? Yes. X cubed is a common factor. So I'm going to take x cubed as a common factor from only the first two terms. So if you divide x4 divided by x cubed, it's going to be x plus 3x cubed. This one, 3x cubed divided by x cubed is 3. And we already have here x plus 3. What, guys, if we put x plus 3 also inside the brackets? If you put it inside the brackets, you will see in this term, we have x plus 3. And on this term, we have also x plus 3. That means we can take x plus 3 as a common factor from this expression again. So here I'm going to take x plus 3 as a common factor. So if you divide this by x plus 3 would be canceled, and the leftover is only x cubed. Plus, what if you divide x plus 3 by x plus 3? If you divide x plus 3 by x plus 3, it's going to be 1. Bravo. All of this equal to 0. And as you know, guys, if the product of some expressions equal to 0, that means we can say either the first expression x plus 3 equal to 0, or x 2 power 3 plus 1 equal to 0. If you solve this equation, x here equal -3. And if you solve this one, x cubed equals -1. We can take here the cubic root for both sides. So the cubic root will cancel the cube. So this one is going to be x. And here, what is the number? If you multiply it by itself 3 times equal -1, the number is -1. So here, the two real values for x are x equal -3 and x equal -1. And as you know, guys, this question can be done by Desmos. Just graph it in Desmos and find x-intercepts. Let's graph it and see. Are we going to get x-intercepts to be equal x -3 and x -1? X to power 4 plus 3x to power 3 plus x plus 3. So guys, as we see here, we got this function, the graph of this function. How many x-intercepts do we have? We have the first x-intercept here, -3, and the other x-intercept equal -1. Let's go for the next example. But before getting to the next example, guys, I wanted to give you here one thing to solve it and tell me what would be the answer. So if you have A equal B over M times C, and I ask you here, isolate M. How can we isolate here M? I think it's very easy if we just cross multiply. So if you just cross multiply this by this, so you will get here what? You will get here M A C, and B times 1 is B. To isolate M, so here we will divide by AC, and here divide by AC, isn't it? So A cancels AC, cancels C. So M equal B over AC. Very good. Let's look at this example. We have this example, and we need to get which of the following gives the value of M in terms of X. When you just look the question, you will feel this is very complicated question. However, it's one of the simplest questions that you can see in SAT. What do we need to get? We need to get the value of M. That means we need to isolate M. But how can we isolate M? As we see here, we have a cubic function, and here we have a square root, and here we have x plus 1 over x. Guys, what if we just replace this one? What if we just replace this one here, this expression, the whole expression here, instead of being x cubed plus x squared plus x, I'm going to say this one is going to be equal to A. So now we know that the value of A is x cubed plus x squared plus x. And this expression to be, for example, equal to be what? Equal B. And the other expression we have here in the denominator, x plus 1 over x to be C. And write this equation as A equals B over M times C. And what do we need to get here? We need to get the value of M. However, we know what is the value of A, what is the value of B, and what is the value of C. So to get M, just cross multiply. This is over 1. So if you multiply here, A times M times C, so it's going to be A, M, C, and the B times 1 is B. right? So how can we isolate m? Divide here by AC and divide here by AC. So A cancels A, C cancels C. So what will be the value of m? The value of m is MB over AC. So guys, if you look at the options, you will find here we have only B on the numerator, which is x square root of x1 minus 1 over x. And the only expression has this on the numerator as option number D. So the answer is D. And here we have A. What is A? This expression. And what is C? C is this expression. Example number 9, if x is positive, for what real value of x the equation above is true? So guys, again, this equation, you can solve it very quickly on Desmos, and you can do it manually as well. So just go to Desmos and graph it and find x-intercepts. So if you go and do it, let's write the equation. So it's going to be x plus 1 all square plus 5 times x plus 1 negative 24. And zoom out to find the x-intercepts. You will find here 2 x-intercepts, which are 2 and negative 9. So the correct answer here is going to be 2 or negative 9. شكرا جدا لحضراتكم، وبكده نكون خلصنا chapter number 3 solving and manipulating equations. في الديسكريبشن بتاع الفيديو ده هتلاقي PDF في الكلاس نوتس اللي احنا كتبناها النهارده مع بعض، وهتلاقي كمان في لينك الهوم وورك، وهتلاقي في لينك الجوجل فورم اللي تقدر تعمل فيه سبميت للهوم ووركس. وان شاء الله في الفيديو القادم we will solve the homework of manipulating and solving equations. بتمنى ان كل الطلاب اللي تشوف الفيديو ده، لو انت وصلت لحد هنا، تنزل وتحاول تعمل براكتس على الهوم وورك بنفسك اللي هتلاقيه موجود في الديسكريبشن، وفي الفيديو اللي بعده ان شاء الله هتلاقي حل الهوم وورك ده. شكرا جزيلا لحضراتكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.